In the summer of 1991, I was a normal kid. I did normal things. I had friends and a mother who loved me. I was just like you, until the day of my life was stolen. For 18 years, I was a prisoner. I was an object for someone to use and abuse. For 18 years, I was not allowed to speak my own name. I became a mother and was forced to be a sister. For 18 years, I survived an impossible situation. On August 26, 2009, I took my name back. My name is Jaycee Dugard. I don't think of myself as a victim. I survived. A stolen life is my story, in my own words, in my own way, exactly as I remember it. Who would have known the world could be so cruel? It was heart-wrenching when we heard about this little girl picked out of a fairy tale was abducted. The whole world was in shock, and the search went on and on. I remember seeing posters all around. I read newspapers and saw the story on the news, and I would think to myself, where is she? Why? Jaycee Dugard was kidnapped by Philip and Nancy Garado when she was 11 years old in 1991 and held captive in a backyard compound. She was subjected to rape, manipulation, and verbal abuse. She gave birth to 2 daughters fathered by her abductor in that backyard prison. Dugard lived in a virtual solitary confinement until her first daughter was born 3 years into captivity and wasn't allowed to spend time outdoors until after her second daughter was born, more than 6 years after her abduction. She writes the closest thing to freedom she ever felt in the compound was when she was allowed to live in her own tent and plant a small garden. Now, Dugard is telling a new memoir, A Stolen Life.
Hi, Jaycee.
Hello.
I know it's hard to talk about, but can you describe what happened during your abduction for 18 years?
Well, 18 years of my life was stolen, and being in captivity kind of makes you think differently about the world. You lose all trust for people, and the only trust you have left is put into your abductor, because he's the only one who kind of gives you attention, and you kind of crave that attention constantly, and you think that you're not independent. You depend on everybody. You can't do anything on your own. You feel like you lost a chunk of your life that you could never get back.
I can't even imagine. How did you hold up hope?
I held on to hope by my cats the stray cats who I found in the backyard that I was held in. And they were something that I could love, and something that gave me love back. They kept me warm at night and company. And it was sad having them pass away or being given away, but it was something that I felt like needed me. And that was something that I was searching for in the compound, because I always needed Philip or Nancy to do something for me. I couldn't go out and get groceries for myself. I couldn't pick out the clothes I wanted for myself. But the cats were something that I felt like needed me, and they would always follow me around. So it was nice to have something that needed me. And also another thing was my 2 daughters that I had, my 2 beautiful daughters they had at the compound, gave me hope that one day I'll get out of that place and show my mothers what beautiful daughters I have. And they gave me hope that one day we could live in a home, our home, together without Philip and Nancy. And also writing about my story gave me hope for my mother. Soon enough, I felt like I was forgetting her facial features, how she talked, how our relationship was, and writing about her just kept reminding me that there was a mother out there that I had.
How did you raise 2 children in that environment?
It wasn't easy. Kind of sums it up, but people will never understand fully how difficult it was to live and grow two wonderful daughters in an environment that was abusive mentally and physically. I was forced to be a sister because Nancy didn't like the idea that I was a mother of her husband, Philip Garado, and she forced me to be called the sister of my two daughters, and she took the name of the mother, and she didn't even take care of them. She didn't like when they cried, when you had to change their diaper. It was hard not having the good living environments for them out in my tent, but I made what I could, and usually Philip would let me stay inside the house when it started getting cold out so the kids wouldn't get sick. But soon enough they got really sick and we had to get some medicine for them, and it was really tough because Philip had to make his way around because he was on probation with the police. And also just caring for them, just having bikes for them like any normal kid would, was really hard, and giving labor to them naturally in the house. I would never imagine having my first kid at 13 by Philip. It was a very tough situation that I hope no one ever has to go through.
What were your thoughts about reuniting with your mother?
Reuniting with my mother when I saw her at the police station for the first day, I had so many mixed feelings. I was frightened. I was scared. Josh, I'm trying to record something here.
Dang it, we almost finished too. Ah!
Okay. Cut it.
So, Jaycee, what are your thoughts about reuniting with your mother again?
When I saw her for the first time at the police station, I was frightened, happy. I had so many feelings mixed together. But the first thing that I said to my mother, I remember, was, "Mom, I have two daughters." And I remember she nodded her head and she said, "It's fine." She started crying, smiling, laughing all at the same time. And she just hugged me and she just held me there. And that was the best feeling. And from that point, I just automatically kind of felt the connection that we had all this time. Like it was never lost. So, all the hope, all the torture I went through, seeing my mother at the end, it was all worth it.
Do you think you can ever trust the world again?
I honestly do not think I will ever trust the world again. And now that I have my two daughters and I'm out in the open, it's hard to even go to any baseball games, ballet recitals, without paparazzi constantly taking pictures. I don't want the world to know my daughters as victims of a rape. They're just like any other kid out there, and I want them to know that. It's hard to be a mother and having to not be there sometimes because you don't want any trace of Philip Garado to your children. They don't deserve that. And the world changes once you go through something so drastic like that. You will never trust anyone ever again. You see everyone so completely different. You never know who could just be the monster underneath. So I know I have to open up my family to the world and let them grow as a person. And I learned that from my sister, my younger sister. She's in college now. She's all grown up, which she's actually teaching me a couple things. She actually taught me to drive, and I got a new car, so that's a new step of freedom for me. I know it kind of sounds funny, but having a new car is like being able to get in the car and go. Something I didn't have when I was in captivity. I couldn't just get up and go. And having a car, I could just drive my daughters anywhere they wanted. Just me and them. So it was nice to have that in the world. But no, I will never trust the world after what I've been through. There's no way I could open myself up or my family up to the world that I know. There's absolutely no way.
Well, thank you, Jaycee, for telling us your story. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about, mad bro.
Mad bro?
I am the godfather.
The godfather?
The godfather.
Say hello to my little friend.
That is Godface.
Godfish? What was your thoughts about reuniting with your mother again?
Wow. Reuniting with my mother again.
Is that your mother?
This is not my mother. Okay.
What's about reuniting with your mother again?
My dog's right here. She keeps hopping off. Okay, let's try this again.